Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of TEDXcellence, the show where we constantly try to find out how to best teach ourselves through the power of melanin. Yes, and I come to you live from Crater Valley on the moon with Dog, Cat, Fox, a Pepperjack, and all of you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to Thursday. TEDXcellence Thursday. Yes, we return once again to the wonderful world of off-brand TED Talks for education and enlightenment. And we're visiting an old friend today. Not in the sense of the speaker. I have no idea who the speaker is, but the subject matter is an old friend. I'll talk about that momentarily. But first, who's joining me on this beautiful Thursday evening? Abdicas Diaboli. Hello. Adam Nixon. Oh, sorry, not Adam Nixon. Pardon. I got my brain screwed up there. Walter Tomaszewski. I looked at the avatar, and for some reason, I thought it was... I had a moment. I apologize, Walter. Scribe, my cats find your jokes amusing. They find you positively funny. They want to send you some apricot jam for your pumpernickel toast. All right, Walter, as I'm very apologetic for completely messing up who you are. There you go. Appreciate it, Walter. Who else is here? Mike R., hello. Blue-Eyed Scream, hello. There's the Adam Nixon. I think. I hope. If I screw it up twice, man, I'm not on good footing then. Keeverdam, hello. And thank you, Keeverdam, as always, for providing the link to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society donation page. Guys, that's pinned to the top of the chat box. If you are able to donate to that, please do so. But even if you can't, if you can share that out on social media, that would be appreciated. So thank you ahead of time for that. And thank you, Keeverdam, for providing the link. Noah Sentio, or the Alexander, good evening. Kiro Soldier, hello. Attack Alpaca, hello. Who else is here? Anybody else? Oh my gosh. Funtime Bats, good evening. Robert Pincus, hello. Angelverse, good evening. Officer Buck Tud Russell, hello. K. Roberts, good evening. Vivak und Vitak on the Moon. That is an Apollo 13 reference. Jawohl, mein Lunar. Blakester, good evening. Found is here. 9898 Flipper. That was terrible. What was terrible? What'd I do? What did I do? I'm sorry. I try so hard. I don't even know what I'm apologizing for, but I'm sorry. Just how I am. Let's see. Jamie Melquist. Good evening. Hi, Jamie. Full Metal Joker. Well, now there's a name I haven't said in a while. Full Metal Joker, how you doing? Good evening to you. And anybody else I missed, anybody who are lurking, anybody in the future. Good evening. Uh-oh, wait. There's a Miranda Stone. Guys, I don't know if you know about Miranda Stone, but let me tell you. First time for TEDXcellence. Uh-oh, the skeptic tank. I don't know what to tell you. Boy, now the pressure's on. I mean, in the long litany of TEDXcellences, I have to make a good impression for a skeptic tank. All right, well, I'll do my best. Resolute Germ, good evening. Simon Willikins, hello. And so, yes, tonight. So, I am making a educated guess. Education. That's part of the joke here. The title for our presentation this evening is The Mirror in the Classroom, Why Black Male Teachers Matter. Okay, so this is a subject that I've covered multiple times over the years, but not relatively recently. And so I am curious to find out if the rhetoric has changed all that much over the years. Now, what am I talking about? Well, I have to explain to you why I was attracted to this particular talk by way of prediction. And by prediction, two talking points that have come up multiple times over the years that I always find completely incredible and worrying. And so here are the two talking points. First and foremost, it has been said that people cannot believe themselves to be in a position of authority or in a particular vocation unless they, quote unquote, see themselves in that role. As in, and I'm going for the most basic version here, if I don't see a person of my race as a firefighter when I'm a child, then I can't possibly imagine myself or believe that I could become a firefighter because there are no firefighters who, quote unquote, look like me. And so by extension, if I never see a teacher who looks like me in a teaching role, I'll never consider being a teacher when I grow up, because obviously race determines visually what I have an imagination for myself, because I'm inherently racist, I guess. I've heard that said many times. So when the title of this is The Mirror in the Classroom. The other thing is the talking point that says, all students benefit from having at least one teacher of color in the course of their academic career. That somehow simply the appearance of the teacher results in a benefit for someone's educational outcomes. And of course, my argument against that is, well, I'll wait. These are just my predictions. Now, I predict that one or both of those talking points are going to come up in the course of this presentation. I'm hoping not, because I'd like to hear something new. But if I do hear them, I'd like to see what angle our speaker takes on the subject. Kirill Soldier, thank you so much for the happy, smiley Dogcat Fox. Oh, Dogcat Fox.
Wowie fucking wow.
Oh, there's a Satsu 2 cents Dogcat Fox. Thank you so much, Kirill Soldier. Appreciate it. Also, Brian Morissette, hello. Let me get that up there. There we go. Anybody else before I start the show rolling here? I think I have everybody. If I missed you, please let me know, and I'll try to say hello. All right, so bingo cards tonight are bingo card A, guys. A as in Miss Frizzle. Miss Frizzle was the winner of the bingo card poll on the Twitter machine for Best Teacher. It was all up to Miss Frizzle, Miss Bliss, or Mr. Cotter. Miss Frizzle won the poll, so bingo card A. Links to the bingo cards are in the description below. Get your bingo card A's ready and follow along. I'll turn the music down here just a smidge as we get ready for this. All right, this one clocks in. It's a relatively short one for a TEDx talk, just under 10 minutes at 9 minutes 35 seconds. I will start off with a few seconds for a sound test. You guys tell me if you can hear it, and then we will proceed.
Imagine a world where every child sees themselves reflected in their teachers.
Oh! I'm going to take a victory lap already. I can't help myself. That was just too... Oh, you guys hear that all right? Sounds good, says Mike R. I hear it, so I can be it, I guess. Exactly. How did it go in Rocky Horror Picture Show? Be it. Don't dream it. Right? All right. Let's live in a world where every student can see themselves reflected in their teacher. Well, tell me. I mean, reflection is... It can be kind of an abstract concept. You don't mean it literally, do you?
A world where black boys can easily envision themselves as agents of change, inspired by mentors who look like them.
Oh, okay, that's just a part 2 of my own prediction. Okay, so check marking that one. Students can't believe themselves to be a thing, teachers in this case, unless they see themselves in their teachers in the literal sense of their race and gender. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is, are we going to hear that there is an inherent benefit to the race of your teacher to your academic outcomes? If that argument is made, depending on how it's made, I have an interesting rejoinder. Also, just as a preview, and I don't want to take credit for it, I talked to my friend Leonora. You guys that watched way back in the day, remember when I did those reading reviews of the Vampire, the book series from Anne Rice with my friend Leonora? Well, I was telling her about this subject last night, and she came up with a brilliant solution if he makes the argument about having a teacher of color etc. in your academic career. So if he brings that up, I will give you what Leonora's solution was to the problem. I don't want to take credit for it. It's all her. But we'll see if he does it. So let's see.
This world is possible, but we're facing an invisible crisis that's holding us back.
An invisible crisis? Is it the nothing?
As a proud future black male educator
So you're getting your degree?
and a student at Hope College,
Oh.
I stand here before you today not just as a speaker, but as a testament to what's possible when we invest in diversity in education.
Oh, diversity in education. That's enough for me. So going over to the bingo card, circling diversity, equity, and inclusion. And also circling free space. Let's go over to the bingo card real quick to remind ourselves what we are listening for. Collectivize his own demographic. Well, he already has done that in the beginning as black male teachers, etc. Systemic or institutional? Well, we'll see. Sales pitch for product or service? Not yet. Childhood or family anecdotes? Possible. Plays victim? We'll see. Microaggressions or unconscious bias? And remember, that has to be microaggressions or unconscious bias used as an element of his presentation, not that we believe the speaker possesses those, but as part of the presentation. Privilege, contradicts own point or fails to make argument, we'll see. Patriarchy, deceptive statistics, economic disparity, feminism, marginalized or marginalization, that's entirely possible. A list, white supremacy, that might be implied, we'll see. Word salad, self-vilification or wretchedness, weightless example or non sequitur, attempt to coin new buzzword or buzz phrase, mind reading or assumes motives, benevolent condescension. I think there might already be some there with the assumption that children cannot imagine themselves in a role unless they see their same race in it, which also implies that they are racists themselves. But anyway, anecdote that probably never happened. And lastly, leaves out vital context. We might be on the cusp of a couple of more of those, but in just the first 35 seconds, we have collectivized his own demographic, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and free space. Let's continue.
My family and I moved to the United States in 2018 from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Oh, childhood or family anecdote. There we go. Circling that one on the board. Where is that one? There it is at the top. Remember, this is bingo card A, everybody. Okay.
Growing up, I always had a black male teacher, a teacher that looked like me.
And that was very important to you?
And throughout my high school journey in America, I never had a black male teacher.
Oh, no. And what difference did you denote in the quality of education based on the change in melanin count?
And I didn't know how that was going to affect me as a black male student.
Only as much as you decided it to.
In the United States. And let me tell you, that absence spoke volumes.
Just flip the script for a second and just imagine that you had a white guy on the stage saying, you know, I had white teachers all growing up, and then I had a black teacher, and I didn't know how that was going to affect me. Think about that for a second. Think about that. Do a Joe Biden.
This absence wasn't just felt within my classroom, but it is a tangible reality found across the nation.
Oh, okay. How so?
Only 2% of teachers in the United States are black men.
Only 2% of teachers in the United States are black men. Well, I'll stipulate that that's an accurate statistic. So let's think about that for a second. Well, let's see. You have a subsection of a vocation from a population count in the United States that is already just, as far as I understand it, the population count for African Americans in the United States is somewhere between 13 and 18%, depending on who's assessing it. So let's just say 15 for the sake of splitting the difference. So you take half of that population as male versus female, and then you have to minus out non-working age individuals, so everybody from like, let's see, 17 down out of that same percentage. So you'd go from 15 to, let's say, 6%, and then from that you take away, I don't know, about another 2%, so then you have 4% of the population that is working age, black male, and then you have a refined vocation, or a not exactly popular vocation necessarily, as teachers. Sounds about right. I mean, I'm not a statistician, but, and what is the implication here?
Yet black students make up 15% of the student population.
Yes, because students make up a higher population than teachers. I don't know if you've noticed this, but there are more students in a classroom than teachers at any one time. I'm getting ready to circle deceptive statistics.
This disparity represents a missed opportunity for connection, understanding, and growth.
Disparity. And as we know, a disparity always equates to an inequity. There's no other explanation for those disparities. Circling deceptive statistics on the board.
Here at Hope College, I had an opportunity to have a black male professor.
Wow, were you really happy to see someone of your preferred race? My patience with this kind of thinking really has run out.
Opportunity to have a black male professor that changed my life.
Changed your life?
Which is not the case for many black students at predominantly white institutions.
Oh, okay. So how would you propose to solve for this problem? Excuse me.
My freshman year, I was invited to an event that was organized for students of color who are majoring in education.
Really? Was this a event that took place on campus as endorsed by the campus? Because I hate to tell you this, and I know I am a broken record on this. There's this little thing called Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So if your college was endorsing a program or an activity that was racially exclusive, I might want to refer you to the Justice Department. I guess time will tell.
I remember when I walked into the room, I saw a black man.
Uh-huh.
I was so shocked.
You were shocked to see black men? Why?
But at the same time, I was so happy that I wasn't the only black person in the room.
Oh my gosh. Now again, flip the script. Imagine this is some white guy on a stage being so ecstatic. Thank God there aren't any colored people in the room with me.
So throughout the event, I was so eager to introduce myself. And after the event, I was able to introduce myself, and he asked about my Hope experience.
What has been your Hope experience? Too many white people?
I remember feeling a sense of comfortability because he said to me, "It's okay. Be honest."
It's okay, be honest. You need to be given permission to be honest, or?
Him giving me that opportunity to be open with him was what I needed at that moment.
So he asks you a straight question, and then so what, you were going to like couch your answer to him for some reason?
So after a week, I decided to reach out back to him because I was so confused about my education major.
What was your answer to the question? Come on, you can't set up something like that and then not answer the question. He asked you what's your Hope experience been, and then you were hesitant to be honest with him, but he told you, no, it's okay to be honest. And so I felt so grateful for that opportunity to be honest. I'm not going to tell you what I said. Come on.
And he was the only professor in the education department that I felt comfortable talking to.
I wonder why that is. Please tell me that it's because of his years and years of experience and his, professional wisdom. If he'd been white, would you have still wanted to talk to him?
So you're probably thinking, why was he the only professor out of all the 20 professors in the education department that I felt comfortable talking to?
Well, I mean, I am wondering. At the same time, I'm not wondering. But I hope, and I am sincere when I say this, fingers crossed, knock formica, you're going to say something about his meritorious experience. Please.
Well, I felt comfortable talking to him because I saw someone who looked like me.
Oh, man. Okay, Yeah. Okay. I mean, the title of the presentation kind of gave it away, and your preamble also did as well. But I had hoped at least the first thing you would mention is the fact something like, oh, he's got 25 years as a tenured professor in the field that I have a passion for. Something like that. No, of course not. No, he looked like me. He looked like you. And really, at the end of the day, the surface level, cursory examination of a person's character comes all the way through at skin level.
I saw someone who I wanted to be.
Oh, you saw someone that you wanted to be based on what? Their personal characteristics as far as their accomplishments, their attitude, their actual character? No. The gateway drug to you imagining someone to be a role model is they have to have the right skin color. Listen to what you are saying. If these same words were coming out of a white student at a college, what would you say to that white student that wouldn't also be a recrimination of your own philosophy?
I saw someone who I wanted to be when I grew up.
Right.
So he finally emailed me back, and he said that he's not able to meet with me until 10 p.m.
Okay.
I was shocked as you are.
I don't know that I'm shocked. That is a bit after school hours. I probably would have tried to find a time with him that was more during the day.
Because I have never heard of a professor who would want to meet with a student that late.
I have. Usually they're looking for something more from said student. But, okay, sure. He does student counselor conferences after hours.
But I soon realized that this wasn't just a meeting.
Oh.
This was a pivotal moment that redefined my college journey.
You knew that before you went to a late-night clandestine meeting with a professor after hours. Okay. I cannot wait to hear what happened.
Hour after hour, we planned my classes, discussed my aspirations, and crafted a vision for my 4 years at Hope College.
Okay. Wow. I got to tell you, I'm trying to think back. I didn't meet with my professors all that often, unless it was something really complex. But certainly not trying to plan out my entire college career. But maybe that was just me.
He didn't just believe in me. He invested in me.
Why? And I wonder why. Would he have spent that same amount of time and put that much energy into a student who didn't look like him too? I mean, I don't know. He's not there, but I gotta wonder. The Eldritch God. The Eldritch God? Oh my gosh. So much pressure between Skeptic Tank being here for the first time and now the Eldritch God watching over me. Oh boy, I had a black coworker said he was oppressed and a slave for the past 400 years. I said, I'm Jewish and we were slaves since the pharaohs ruled Egypt. He did not like that. Yeah, if you can believe it, slavery is not an invention of any one particular skin color. It's kind of endemic to human history. People don't like to be like, oh yeah, slavery didn't start until... No, slavery's been around a while. A little bit. Quite a while. Anyway, yes, he believed in you, and he spent some time, hours apparently, meeting with you after dark to craft your entire college direction and career, and you trusted him out of all the other 20 professors because he looked like you. When do we get to the good part of this presentation?
He invested in me. He saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself.
Did he see something in you, or did he see something on you? Because that's really the pattern of this discussion so far.
Potential. And let me tell you, I felt like everything was going to be okay after that meeting. And I am not the only student that Dr. Yelding has sacrificed his time for.
Well, Dr. Yelding, I would assume, is being paid to be a teacher. So I don't think it's much of a sacrifice, especially if he's tenured. But, okay, if he went above and beyond to focus on you and help you out with your college plan, great. Since he's not on the stage and I can't say for sure what his motivation was, I'll assume it was completely altruistic and that he would do the same for any student. But we're not talking about him, we're talking about you.
So now you're probably thinking, what's so special about a late night meeting?
Okay, you're probably thinking his mind reading assumes motives, at least of the audience, so circling that one. Tell me more.
But let me tell you, it's not about the time on the clock.
It's not? Then why even bring up the fact that it was a late night meeting?
It's about the impact of one person believing in you when you're struggling to believe in yourself.
That has absolutely nothing to do... You're right, it has nothing to do with the lateness of the evening, so why even bring it up?
It's about the power of mentorship, the magic that happens when someone sees your potential and dedicates themselves to helping you realize it.
Do you see potential in people who don't look like you? Now see, I don't want to have to ask that question, but unfortunately our speaker has made that part of his universe. He assesses the quality of people first and foremost on their appearance, specifically their race. So as he moves forward in his college education, and as he said at the top, in his desire to become an educator himself, what kind of potential will he see in any white students, or non-black students, I should say? How will he assess those students, I wonder?
If I didn't have someone who looked like me here at Hope, or someone who encouraged me to keep reaching for the stars, I would have either transferred or dropped out of Hope College.
What if someone encouraged you to reach for the stars that didn't look like you? Would they be as valuable to you? Would you trust them the same way? Why is their skin color a necessary attribute to accept their encouragement?
So this goes to show you that students, especially black students, need a teacher who they can feel comfortable talking to, a teacher who the students are going to feel comfortable sharing their struggles, and the teacher will be welcoming.
Okay, if you only feel comfortable around people who look like you, and by look like you, I'm talking the most bargain basement cursory element, that of skin color, there is a word for that kind of thinking. You may want to consider what you are saying and what you are encouraging in others. And also what you are projecting onto others simply on the basis of what you look like, the assumptions that you are making about others based on what you look like. I don't know if you're seeing a pattern here. I sure am.
And the teacher will help them, guide them in the right path to success.
Because they look like them. Okay. So I'm going to do this now. And he's basically hinted at my second prediction. I'm going to wait and see if he gets more specific. But just as a sort of preemptory move here. If this is true, if it is beneficial inherently for students to see in themselves or see themselves in their teachers by way of race, that there is an inherent benefit of belief and role modeling and trust. Well, you know what the logical conclusion of that way of thinking is? Like should only teach like, right? I mean, if you're only going to get the best out of students, and students are only going to get the best out of themselves, if their teachers look like them, well, then you might as well just make sure that there are only classrooms populated with one particular race. That every classroom full of Asian students should have an Asian teacher, every classroom full of black students has a black teacher, and every classroom full of white students has a white teacher, all the way through their entire academic journey. That way, the end result will be the best possible academic outcome for every student. based on this philosophy. So, hey, I mean, racial segregation in schools, guys, it's obviously the best policy. According to our speaker, at least by implication. So, anyway.
Last year, I was given an opportunity to intern at the Watts Learning Center in
The Watts Learning Center, okay.
Los Angeles, California.
Oh, Watts in Los Angeles. California.
Which is known for providing a quality education to students living in the Watts area.
Okay.
I remember during this internship, I saw teachers who looked like me.
I can only imagine. And that make you feel good?
These black educators were making a real difference in students' lives.
Which obviously a white educator would be incapable of doing, or an Asian educator, or a Pacific Islander or something. Yeah, okay.
Which it encouraged me to realize that I have the ability to be there for black students and make a significant impact on them.
If you're going to become a teacher, you should have a significant impact on students. Full stop. If you care only about black students, maybe you shouldn't be an educator. If your philosophy is barred by melanin count, then maybe this isn't the profession for you. Thank you, Frosted Glass. Teachers are 76% women. Boys must be oppressed then. I know. Obviously. He hasn't gotten to that part yet. Except to say that I think he said there's only 2% of teachers are black and male. And he just kind of let that sit out there without, going to the effort of explaining why that percentage might exist. I did my best to act as a statistician, is trying to break that down. I think I did okay. But anyway. Crowbar the Skull. If he fell down, he'd have significant impact. Oh, now, hold on. Unless the speaker brings up certain elements about themselves, it's not fair game for criticism. He has brought himself up in his life experience and his philosophy as part of his presentation, so that's fair game. But let's not be mean.
We need to change the narrative.
Okay. What is the current narrative, and what do you want to change it to?
Being a teacher isn't just a job. It's a calling.
I would agree, all things considered.
It's a chance to shape the future to be the person you needed when you were young.
Given your predilections, I don't know how you're going to do that without surgery or something. How are you going to alter the students you're going to have to be the kind of people you like?
However, we must address the unique value that black male educators bring to the classroom.
Oh, okay. Tell me about the unique value, and value as a word in the artistic realm is an interesting one to use in this context, double entendre. But yeah, what is the unique value that race and gender inherently possess?
They are not just teachers. They are role models.
Just because they are black and male. Nothing else about them has to be there. I mean, what if... I don't know. What if they're a terrible person? Right? What if a black male teacher who's just a jerk? I've had teachers before who were jerks of all stripes. I wouldn't call every teacher... You know what? Every white teacher that I've had, I'd have to go down the list individually to decide, is that a role model? Is that someone I'd like to be? Because I've had some jerk teachers before. I didn't give them a pass on their attitude or their behavior simply because they quote-unquote looked like me, but is that not true in this case?
And a living proof of what's possible.
Oh.
Research from Johns Hopkins shows that having just one black male teacher decreases the high school dropout rate for black boys by 39%.
I did it! 2 of my predictions! I am so psychic! Oh my gosh! Nearly a decade, and the rhetoric has not changed one iota. Same old, same old. And so again, I come back and I say, if that is the case, simply having one black teacher decreases the dropout rate. Well, then heck, make sure that they always have black teachers. Just make sure that black students always have black teachers. Make sure that all Asian students have Asian teachers, white students, white teachers, Pacific Islander teachers. Just put back racial segregation in the schools. It'll cure all of our academic downfalls. I tell you guys, it's going to be great. All right. Now, with that statement, though, this touches upon what Leonora said when I mentioned to her the subject of this. So she had a great idea. What she said was, here's her idea. What you do is you have a class of students, right? And unlike in most junior high and colleges and so on, where, the bell rings and you go to the next period and different kids go to different classrooms depending on what subject they're going to, the classroom stays static, all right? And so let's say, just as hypothetical, in 8th grade in junior high, the classroom is 30 kids, and those 30 kids are the same 30 kids who are going to be in the classroom throughout the entire 8th grade year. And what happens is, in hour 1, the English teacher, who is in this case, let's say a black male, comes in and teaches English. Hour 2, an Asian female teacher comes in and teaches geography. Hour 3, a white male teacher comes in and teaches science, right? Okay, so you have this rotating subject matters of different teachers, specifically of different races. Now, that goes on all year. You have this carousel. Each subject is assigned to a different teacher of a different race. And then in year 9, the English teacher is an Asian male. The math teacher is a black female. You just start rotating the subjects amongst different racial demographics of teachers. And that way, guys, I'm telling you, this is brilliant. That way, by the end of their academic careers, every student will be represented in some way, shape, or form in every subject at least once every year. And then that is the most efficient way to have the best possible academic outcome for every student, is just hire teachers in subjects specifically on the basis of their race. What could possibly go wrong? It's a perfect solution, isn't it? Don't you think? And again, that's for my friend Leonora. Faustonia, holy cow. Thank you, Faustonia, so much. Hiya, Scribe and chat. Well, hiya, Faustonia. Nice to see you. Hope you're enjoying the show, finding it educational. Advocate Diablo, my junior high worked that way. It did. At least the teachers changed per class, but the classes were the same. I had that. I was part of a special program in junior high for a year. I think it was my 7th or 8th grade year, where, we just moved as a singular class from classroom to classroom. We didn't stay in one classroom, but it was like, it's time for math. We go to the math classroom. It's time for English. We go to the English classroom. So we all were together, and we had different teachers for each subject, but we were kept together as one group rather than being dispersed all over the place as most of the other students were. I'm not quite sure what the end result was meant to be, like classroom cohesion or something, but I didn't really see much of a difference by the time I went back in the next year to everybody went to different subjects or different classrooms depending on what we signed up for. So, But as far as the theory that, just one teacher of color improves all your outcomes, well, hell, there's an easy solution. Just, again, racial segregation would be great.
I'll say that again, 39%.
Mm-hmm.
And increases the college aspirations.
Doesn't that just say that, again, you're just saying that most of the students are racist? They value skin color above anything else first and foremost in respecting or believing or trusting someone. That's not something to celebrate, is it?
One teacher, one role model, one person who says, I see you, I understand you.
You assume they understand them because of a shared... Yeah, right.
And I believe in you. During my time in Watts, one of the black male educators said to me that black male teachers spend more time mentoring and counseling students than teachers of any demographic because they serve as role models who relate more easily to students' perspectives and challenges.
Right. Asian teachers can't be trusted. Asian teachers don't care about their students. White teachers obviously don't care about their students, regardless of their race. Mistrust anyone who's not part of your tribe. Got it.
Like I said earlier, we need more teachers, especially teachers who look like me.
Are you just like trying to get a job here or something? How does your appearance define your value? Specifically your skin color. How does someone else's appearance define their value in your world? A black student can benefit nothing from a white teacher?
I challenge each and every one of you.
Do you?
To be a part of this change.
I do not want to be part of your change. Your change is a giant step backwards in thinking and law, honestly. No, I do not wish to be part of your change. I'm not going to encourage people to see race as a positive value factor in assessing someone's worth. I'm not going to do it.
If you're an educator, deliberately advocate for diversity in your school.
Oh, if I'm an educator. Any educator?
This could mean pushing for diverse hiring practices in your school district.
Oh, diverse hiring practices in your school district. All right, right. Not discriminatory hiring practices. Not hiring practices that value someone on the basis of their race or ethnicity, first and foremost. No. Because that's totally legal, guys, if you were to actually do that. Hire more teachers based on their gender and their race as a prerequisite for employment. No, that wouldn't be illegal that I'm suggesting that you do. Not at all.
And also creating mentoring programs that will support students of color who are interested in teaching.
Right. Birds of a feather flock together. Yeah. Student-teacher counseling based on racial segregation. That's what we need to do.
And if you are a policymaker, advocate for mentoring programs that will support the recruitment and retention of black male teachers.
Right. Have programs and policies and activities that specifically preference people on the basis of their race or gender. And if you're an educator in a public school that is obviously supported by federal financial assistance, that's completely legit. Yeah.
And if you are a student, especially a young black man,
especially, yeah, because obviously there's a hierarchy here.
Consider teaching. You have the power to change lives, including your own.
I do? Oh wait, no, I don't. I'm the wrong color.
But also be fervent in your efforts toward teaching. Cultivating an environment that is welcoming and inspiring for all black students.
I'm not allowed to inspire anyone outside of my racial demographic? Oh, okay.
Like I said earlier, you have the power.
No, sorry. He-Man has the power. That's what I learned when I was growing up.
To change lives.
Oh, okay.
Including your own.
You've already said, okay. Repetition doesn't make it make any more sense.
There are programs like Call Me Mister that aim to recruit and retain talented black male teachers to stay in the profession.
No, call me Mister. I have had that come up in the past on my channel. I don't recall where. I remember that being brought up. Yes, so a gender and racially segregated organization. Tell me more.
We need more. We need more initiatives like this.
We need more racially and gender discriminatory initiatives like this when it comes to encouraging educators. Oh, okay. If there was a white male counterpart to this organization, would you be cool with that?
To help black male teachers to stay in the profession and make a difference.
Yeah. Do you have any other selling points? You're just repeating yourself now.
As a proud future black male educator,
I can tell you're very prideful, yes.
I want to exist in a world that every child is reflected in their teachers.
Every child is not reflected in their teachers. Unless you go with Leonora's plan, then maybe you can do that. But if you only see value first and foremost on appearance, yeah, no.
A world where every black male educator is supported, valued, and seen.
Well, they have to be valued and they have to be seen because of what they are. Not because of who they are, because of what they are. Every other kind of teacher, female and any other race, even black female teachers, not nearly as important. Don't need nearly as much support, obviously.
Be the change. I'll say that again.
Because repetition is a method.
Be the change.
Be the change.
Because you have the power. You have the power to change lives.
Okay. You've got like 4 different phrases you've used over and over again in the course of this. The power to change lives. You have the power. Be the change you want to see.
Because your silence
is violence.
Your silence
is violent. Your silence is defeat. Your silence is capitulation. Your silence is golden.
Serves no one.
Oh.
Your silence
serves no one.
Serves no one. Thank you.
That's it? That's it. Woo! Yay! Yay! Racial segregation in education. Woo! Racial hierarchies. Yay! Racial discrimination in hiring. Yay! Oh, man. That's something. Did he attend the William Shatner School of Public Speaking? Oh, if only. If only. If he'd come out and be like, be the change you want to see. Only you can be a role model for people that look like you. That's my worst William Shatner. Oh, it might not be my worst William Shatner, but it's pretty bad. All right. Well, that was the presentation, and boy, I was not disappointed. I was not disappointed. I tell you what. I was psychic. The more things change, the more they stay the same. But let's move on to the bingo card. Get your bingo cards ready, everybody. I'm going to go over mine one more time by myself. And if you have any arguments for squares to be circled, hold on to them. I will get to you momentarily. Systemic or institutional? I mean, if I was being very generous, maybe when he's talking about like when he's talking about percentages and like how many black teachers there are, and you know, he was implying there was some kind of systemic discrimination going on, but I might be stretching it a bit. I'll leave it for you guys to tell me otherwise. Kiro Soldier, thank you so much. My father spent a year teaching a Little Rock Central High School, and he would stare at disbelief at this man. He taught algebra. I like I've said many times before, if I accept in this case, are this specific speaker, but I accept this specific speaker's philosophy as truth. Yeah, that's a great idea. What is the ultimate logical conclusion to that way of thinking if you believe what he says? What would you necessarily have to do if what he says is actually true? If there are definitive, unavoidable, inevitable educational benefits to having students who have teachers who look like them, and the only thing that they need to look like is a combination of race and gender, if that's all there is, then there is one solution to everybody's educational problems. Have classrooms segregated by race and gender. Only black male students are with black male teachers. Only white male students are with white male teachers. Only Asian female students are with Asian female teachers. Just have it all. Just have these regimented, categorized, thou shalt not cross over. Yeah. Obviously, racial and gender segregation in schools is the obvious solution, if what he is saying is true, if he truly believes what he's saying. I don't buy it, but he's trying to sell it to other people. Thank you, Kiro Soldier. Sales pitch for product or service. Well, he did advertise for Call Me Mister. And organizations like that. So it might be a little bit of a stretch, but I'm going for that one. Plays victim. Yes, at least by implication. In all the other instances where he walked into a room and he was the only kind of person like him there, obviously this was some kind of like cosmic disservice that was being descended upon him. So microaggressions or unconscious bias. Okay, I'm not going to circle it, but I'm going to at least make a pitch, and you guys tell me if I'm on the right track here, because like I said, I have to make sure that I'm talking about something where he brings it up as part of his presentation. By implication, he was telling us that teachers, actually not even by implication, he was telling us that black male teachers care about their students, etc. They spend more time. So ipso facto, a white male teacher or an Asian female teacher or something would not care about their students because they're not of the right kind. There is an unconscious bias there against students who don't look like them. So I don't think I'm off base in circling that one. But I'm not going to circle it yet. You guys tell me if I'm on the right track. Because he didn't say unconscious bias and he didn't say microaggressions. It was all implicative. So I'll leave that blank, but I'm ready to circle it if I get a second on that. Privilege. He never said the word. Maybe there's something in aggregate there. I'll leave that to you guys. Contradicts own point or fails to make argument. Well, in my book, he certainly failed to make his argument. Yeah, being a racist on stage, boy, you have a long hill to climb to convince me otherwise. Patriarchy. Well, he was only promoting male teachers. He didn't give a care for like black female students. So, yeah. Economic disparity. He talked about disparity in employment. He didn't talk about finances so much. Not that I heard. Feminism, no. Marginalization. Yes, because he was talking about the lower percentages and how, black male teachers aren't given enough support and onward and onward. So circling that one. A list. Did he give us a list? I don't remember him giving us a formal list in the course of his presentation. If I've forgotten it, someone remind me. White supremacy, again, by implication, there are too many of the wrong kinds of teachers. Too many of the wrong kinds of people in the classroom when I walk in or that kind of thing. Word salad. I didn't hear any word salad. I mean, he repeated himself several times. I understood what he was saying. It didn't quite cross the threshold in a word salad, but I'm open for argumentation otherwise. Self-vilification or wretchedness. At no point did I hear him citing himself as any kind of problem or detriment or anything. Weightless example, non sequitur. What examples did he give us? Well, he brought up one statistic. He brought up call me Mr. And he brought up the dropout rate. I don't know. I'll leave that one. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase. I didn't hear anything new. I heard a lot of repetition, but, be the change you want to see, that kind of stuff, that's been around forever. I didn't hear him trying to pitch effectively a new coffee table book title or anything. Benevolent condescension. Yes, that, all black male students obviously are racist enough to only believe in themselves if they believe that skin color has value in someone's character or worth. That's pretty condescending to me. Anecdote that probably never happened. He didn't give us many anecdotes. And I believe all the ones that he gave us, that, he went to a meeting of all black male people and he felt really comfortable. I believe that his professor talked to him for hours about his college goals and things. I could believe that. I can't speak as to the motivation of that professor, but sure, nothing sounded so beyond the beyond as to be too perfect for its own good. Leaves out vital context. Yeah, why shouldn't the rule of like to like be applied to every racial demographic and gender demographic? I mean, again, if his logic rings true, why shouldn't we just have racial segregation? How are you going to get past civil rights laws in your proposals? I don't know. So anyway, that is my card so far. We are on the cusp of 1 or 2 bingos, depending on what we hit. And also microaggressions, unconscious bias. I'm on the cusp of circling that one as well, but I need a second. If you have an argument for a square to be circled, put it in the chat now. If I miss your argument, please just repost it. If you say, you missed my argument, or scroll up, I'm going to say no. The only scrolling up I do is right at the start of this. And then that's it. All right, Advocast Diaboli. He said black male students need mentors more than anyone else, which would imply a privilege with those groups since they don't need them. Yeah, as well as being benevolent in condescension. All right. Oh, that's true. Okay. I will give you that one. Well, I'm not giving it for no reason. It's not like I'm being like charitable or something. Let's see. Scribelight. Yes, what he said showed an unconscious bias against any other kind of teacher since they are incapable of doing it in his mind. Well, yeah, he was effectively making the argument that any teacher that didn't look like him couldn't possibly care about or be passionate about students that look like him either. That was effectively my thought on it. The Elder's God. My adult form is smaller than when I was a pupa. Pupa? After we emerged from the cocoon, of course. Hard to find any teacher that would look like one of my spawn after it eats their way out of a chest cavity. Oh my gosh. Well, then I guess we're just out of luck. But yeah, I'm going to circle microaggressions, unconscious bias. Because he was effectively accusing anyone who doesn't look like him of being uncaring, unprofessional, and or racist and sexist against their students simply based on what they are. And so, as a consequence of that, if you can believe it.
Bingo! What? Bingo! Yeah! Of course! Of course!
We have our first bingo. Yay, bingo. Will we have any others? I don't know. Let's find out. Frosted Glass, also for unconscious bias. The entire presentation is based on the assertion students are biased in favor of the same race teachers and vice versa. Yep. And the accusations he was effectively making against teachers who, again, don't look like him. So there you go. Leaves out vital context. What do we do with blind black students? Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't know. If you literally can't see race, what do you do? Let's see. Any other arguments, guys? I realize it's a relatively short and kind of narrow presentation in subject matter. Let's see. I got that one. Scrolling. Systemic. The change he's proposing would have to be systemic. Well, that's true. He was calling out to teachers and educators and policymakers. That's right. Yes. He wanted policy changed. He wanted all the ways of thinking changed. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he did petition policy.
Bingo. What? Of course!
We have our second bingo. Oh my gosh. Any other arguments, guys? Advocatus again. His personal case is a weightless example since it's just anecdotal at best and not really indicative of anything. Yes, his presentation is based entirely on his own anecdotal perspective, but in the context of the presentation, it's not weightless because it is his opinion. It's not, I guess it's the give and the take of the fact that his entire presentation is just him giving sort of a personal essay. So within those confines, I can't say that the entire thing is weightless just because he's saying so. It really matters in the course of his argument. Is there a weightless example that he uses? Does that make sense? I need something specific. I can't just say, the whole talk is weightless. Like, Frosted Glass, economic disparity. With black students dropping out more due to not being seen, they'll be less successful. I mean that is a logical extension of what he's saying, but I needed something a bit more specific. That's us trying to fill in the blanks for his own presentation at that point. I get where you're coming from, and I understand what maybe he was also sort of sidewise implying, but I would have needed him to at least bring up something like, the dropout rate is 39%, and those students would obviously have a harder time making it in the world or finding a job. Did he say that? I don't think he said that. So is his racism weightless? Well, yes. It has no substance whatsoever. It's ethereal. So as an idea, ideas are effectively weightless. So yeah. The answer is yes. Kirsten Scholl is over on the X Machine. Yes, guys, even if it's potentially futile for the sake of my YouTube channel, I do also simulcast on X. If you happen to see it over there, retweet it out. But, also direct people to the YouTube page because I hear watching videos on X is not as enjoyable as on YouTube. Both from people I know and myself. By the way, and I was going to mention this earlier, so last night, I didn't get to sleep at all. No, I did actually sleep okay. But last night I did an ambush stream, if you didn't catch it, where I talked to, thankfully, I eventually had Ranting Monkey come on, and we talked about the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 imminent release, and the details that have been showcased so far about that. But in the course of that, I mentioned something that I've mentioned several times over the last couple weeks that I was apparently wrong about, and I need to correct myself. I have said several times that YouTube is changing its algorithm, that your viewership doesn't count anymore, and that what really counts is your interaction. Well, your interaction obviously does count, and it is welcome, and it does benefit the algorithm. However, I was led astray. Apparently, the information I have was not correct. Your viewership still does count if you're viewing. You have to view for a while, like 10, 15 seconds or something to make it count. It can't just be a click. But the theory that I was espousing was apparently something that someone conjured up in regards to shorts on YouTube. But even then, they apparently were incorrect. And Monkey, offline last night after the show was over with, informed me of my folly. And so I have to apologize. I've been sending out misinformation. Now, it's not harmful, because if you have liked the stream or left a comment in the past, that's not detrimental to my channel. But the idea that the algorithm is changing to the point where views alone no longer count in some positive way towards a channel or a video, that is incorrect. And so I have to correct myself, and I apologize for doling out incorrect information. I was taking my information from, I guess, a couple of sources who I thought knew what they were talking about. And they were wrong, and thus I was wrong. So I apologize. I would still appreciate it if you leave a like or a comment. But your viewership alone is not some unimportant element of the equation. So just to let you know. Also, Derek LaRue, holy cats, Derek LaRue. Thank you, Derek, as always, for your continued support and generosity. Really appreciate it. Hope you're having a good evening, and hope that you've enjoyed the show. Any other arguments for squares to be circled, guys? Anything else? Scriblight, do all the stats he dropped one after the other constitute a list? See, when I think of a list, I'm usually waiting for somebody to give us the 3 steps to success or something, or here are the 4 things that need to happen to change whatever's going on. I didn't hear anything quite like that. I mean, just... No, I don't want to say the statistics alone did that. I'm a little hesitant. Unless I missed something. Frosty Glass, self-vilification, does it have to be intentional because he vilified himself as a... well, yes, he has to. See, it has to be part of the speaker's presentation. They have to come out and say, I used to be part of this problem and I've learned my lesson and that's why I'm now advocating for this. Something like that. They have to, as a part of their presentation, as a part of their argument, have to use themselves as an example of the opposite in some way of what they are advocating for. It has to be them using it. It can't be our assessment of them, per se. It has to be something that they use as a mechanism of their argument. That's all. Choose all. Well, choose, Brian Morissette. Choose. Have a good evening. That's why I asked. No, I appreciate it. No, and some of these things, I understand it. Some of these squares, depending on the subject matter we're covering on any particular night, it can kind of go one way or the other, depending. But for a list, I'm looking for something relatively formalized. They're listing off the steps to solve a problem, or here's the 3 ways that we can approach this, or something like that. Just like with attempt to coin new buzzword or buzz phrase. I would always prefer to hear someone say, this is something I like to call ... for whatever they're proposing. So, anyway. Any other arguments, guys? Last call. Let's see. Programming note. Unless something comes up, I will be on Midnight's Edge in the morning, tomorrow morning, Friday morning, at 9:05 a.m. Pacific Time, noon 05 p.m. Eastern Time on Midnight's Edge. And then on Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, will be the next episode of Dog, Cat, Fox, and Friend, where I go over interesting news stories over the course of the week that aren't specifically about DEI, because those stories I save for the Monday show, DEI Death Watch. Let's see. And thank you, Keeverdam, for promoting and shilling my merch store. Yes, guys, if you happen to be interested in getting a Scriblight coffee mug, a TEDXcellence coffee mug, a Moonbase shirt, or a Pepperjack t-shirt, those are all present in the merch store. So take a look at that. And anything else? Oh, by the way, if you like Quantum Leap, unless he's not doing it tonight, over on Price of Reason's channel, he does a weekly retrospective of each Quantum Leap episode in order. So that should be happening either right now or in the very near future. So go check out Price of Reason's channel. And if you happen to go over there and watch for a bit, please do say hi to Price of Reason and let him know that I sent you, because I want him to like me. Uh-oh, here we go. Economic disparity. Graduating would set you up for college and better paying jobs, and if they aren't getting them now, they should be getting them. Yeah, I know we can sort of extend outward from the logic of his argument, but he has to say it. He has to bring up an economic disparity. He has to make the argument that unless you do what he says, there's going to be an economic disparity. He has to bring it up in the presentation. I'm really trying to keep within the boundaries of what the speaker says. There is always room for the negative space. Like I say, when he says only black teachers can relate to black students, by then implication he is saying that other teachers can't. That kind of thing is acceptable. But in something as specific as economic disparity, I really need to be that needs to be a very explicit part of his presentation. Somewhere in there. We can project ahead from what he's saying and what he's implying sometimes, but when it's something that specific, I'd really like to hear it. That's all. Bish Shapotter chat. And this is a language I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know. What is it? Let's check the byline. Exactly. Yeah. Hey, have we established an oral history of the rules of the bingo card yet? Any more than it varies week by week? I know. But it keeps everything interesting. Anyway, everybody, that's the show for this evening. As always, if you have an argument for a square to be circled that you think of as you're watching this in the future, or that you didn't think of while you're watching it now, you can always leave it in the comments below, or you can always leave it over on the Discord server. Did you know I have a Discord server? Well, I have a Discord server. Would you like to join the Discord server? Link to the Discord server is in the chat right now. All you have to do is click on that link. You'll find yourself on the landing channel called Say Hello. And in addition to saying hello, you just have to say the secret word. The secret word will tell me that you're not a bot, have actually watched the stream, and have thus earned the right, the privilege, the entitlement to join the Discord server. And today's secret word is believe. Yes, just say hello, believe, and I'll know that you watched the show. But yeah, outside of that, you can find me here again next Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for another episode of TEDXcellence, where I'll take a look at another off-brand TED Talk, or maybe even a TED Talk itself. There is also the possibility, because I'm angling to have this happen sometime soon, that I might have a special TEDXcellence because of people's schedules and time zones and things. There is a TEDx, actually a TED Talk, that just came out the other day called How to Turn AI Prompts into Movie Magic. Now, in my dream of dreams, I would have both Script Doctor and Paul Chatto on to be my wingmen on that particular subject, because it is a subject that is very important to the two of them in the sense of, well, Script Doctor is a script writer for movies and TV, and Paul Chatto is a former executive for television, and he is actually playing around with AI for the production of shows through the Amazon Showrunner program. If you don't know about Amazon Showrunner, look it up. It's good, bad, and different. Don't know. But I'd love to have them on for that if I can. So I'm trying to arrange that, maybe. Can't tell you when or if, but I'm trying. Advocatus, with one last attempt. Economic disparity. His family moved from the Congo to the U.S. to have a better life. Did he say that? Is that something that he said? I know he did that. He said he came from the Congo to the United States, but did he say it was to have a better life? Was that the motivation? He did? Oh, man. Do I have to, load this thing up again to check? Hold on. Okay, so I want to be thorough. You went back and listened? Okay, I won't take the time then. All right, so Advocatus went back and listened. All right, so his family moved here for a better life, and by better life, obviously looking for, or at least by reasonable extension, looking for a better financial situation. And so, with that, with the clutch move at the end of the show.
Bingo. What? Of course!
Third bingo, 3 bingos, triple bingo. There we go. All right. I appreciate your persistence and your efforts, Advocatus. I want to keep it fair, keep it reasonable. I don't want to hand out squares just for the sake of handing out squares, or bingos or otherwise. But everyone, with that, thank you guys so much for joining me. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though everyone here is so well behaved. You have very, very little to do. Everybody who donated, either to myself or, guys, at the top of the chat box, to the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, thank you guys so much for your generosity. Very much appreciate it. If you like this kind of thing, leave a like and share and let people know that I exist. I appreciate that too. And if you're watching in the future or even now, leave a comment. Apparently, that helps out the algorithm, I'm told. I don't know if it does. But that's the mystery. That's the theory. Until I'm corrected by Ranting Monkey again. Elsewise, everyone, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Hope you have a good Friday ahead of you and weekend as well. I hope you're all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.